I live year round on Mackinac Island and we are renting a house downtown. I just posted a video showing you where I used to live. We have moved, so we are no longer there. And I'm getting a lot of questions of, is my old place for rent? So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to break the bad news to everybody. If you want to rent here in Mackinac Island, it is going to be incredibly difficult if you don't wanna pay tourist prices. So the easiest route to becoming a resident on Mackinac Island, whether seasonally or year-round, is to find employment on Mackinac Island. Most employers offer some some type of employee housing. So the house that we used to live in was technically employee housing. It was a 3-bedroom, 2 full bathroom, office, formal dining room, family room, kitchen, obviously, and full basement house in the historic district, which meant it could not be rented to multiple people. Like, they couldn't rent out rooms to different employees. It had to be only a full family. Like, all had to have the same last name to rent it. Now, the issue with that old house is you have to work for that company. Hold on, my cat's stuck. Sorry, I don't know where she is. She's meowing. She's, I don't know, maybe in a cabinet. I'll find her later. Okay, so back to the house I used to live in. It's technically employee housing, but it can only be rented to a family because of its location. The island is divided into different districts and there are different rules for each district. So the issue with where we lived is that if the only source of income was my partner's employee income, he wouldn't have been able to afford the house because that house's rent was more money than his entire paycheck for the month. So because of my job, we could afford it, not a problem. So even if it was on the market, it would not probably be for everybody. Also, on that note, to rent here in Mackinac Island for a short-term rental, you're gonna pay those vacation prices, which would be even more than what we paid for that rental. So the quickest way to become a resident is to work a job that offers an employee housing, make connections, get yourself on lists, waiting lists for year-round rentals. And most of us have to hop around different temporary living situations until we get to our permanent place of residence, which is what we finally did after 4 years of waiting. Totally worth it. Now, for some people, they can just purchase one of the houses here on the island. There is a house that is like below our like within our means to purchase. I don't know if it's still for sale, but it's only 800 square feet and it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo, and that just doesn't work for us. Like, we moved into a smaller place. We are renting. This is a residential area that we're living in. You have to work at least 1,500 hours a year on the island, and there was a very, very long waiting list where we live now. So there's rules to who can rent in these places, but so like we live in a smaller place now, but there's no way that my family plus me working from home would have been able to make 800 square feet work for that price. And like, what it's like, though we could definitely afford that price, like, and some, for what it is, it's just not, it wouldn't have been a good financial move. The house we wanted to buy 4 years ago, our money was tied up into our house that we were selling, so we couldn't put an offer on it, unfortunately. And then it got bought up by, I think, the Grand Hotel, and the Grand Hotel is using that as employee housing for a family because it's also in an area. Anyways, so we are living here happily for as long as we want, which is beautiful. I don't have to move for a very, very long time. So living on the island is complicated. You can either just outright buy a house. Year-round rentals for people who are not residents, or people who work on the island, is going to be incredibly difficult. Not impossible. Like I said, start with a seasonal job. Get it in there, build relationship and connections. A lot of the places that are available for yearly rentals are going to be insider traded. I guess that's not the right use of that term, but we keep it local because we want to support our local people, and like kids who are graduating and growing up and getting married and like want to live independently, they're obviously going to be prioritized to some of those things, but not impossible. if it's something you really, really want to do, just start making small steps towards living here, and connections happen. And also know that it's normal to have a bunch of temporary living situations, and you become really good at moving, and you join the club of year-round Mackinac Island residents. It's great. It's worth it for me and my family, and unfortunately, my old place is not up for rent.